The chat didn't show up. Pop out, chat. There you are. I don't know why it's doing this. Whatever. At least now I can have the chat somewhat open and not distract myself too much from wow. Whatnot. Gonna see about cooking a lot of fuds. The green olives covered in black pepper. Apparently rosemary too. Olifin nocellara, met rosemary and spotted pepper. I came to Oribos to buy the BS cooking ingredients. I should really. Yep, I'm cooking. I hope everything is negotiable.
Not everything, everything.
Smothered shank. What do I need? Iridescent ravioli and apple sauce. Okay, I got all the fish for that. Smuggled Azerothian produce, luster wheat flour, inconceivably aged vinegar.
Your patronage is always appreciated.
All right, create all. I'm gonna make a butt ton of it, but also make. Yeah, I'm gonna make some smothered shank, or yeah, smothered shank. Rotza likes to breathe fire, right? Why wouldn't she? Charge! Whack! Yes, Maria, I still play football. Yes, I'm going to practice tomorrow. I was just, yes. Like, practice has been going on for a little while, but with lockdown and curfew and whatnot, it just was not unfeasible. And I decided May, we'll do it in May. So, going on a weekend where there's thunderstorms. But at least it'll be warm tomorrow. Warm and wet. I'm going to have a very interesting practice. But I get the question a lot. You still play football? Or, yeah. I know there's a question, even though I should probably, I don't know whether or not to take people literally or not, because they don't use punctuation anymore. So I just assume that I don't actually think the Chinese rocket can fall in the Netherlands. I think we're too far north. But yeah, like there's no punctuation on that. So technically that's a statement. You still play football. Yes, that is very true. I still play football. But if we put a question mark at the end of that one, I can answer the question that yes, I do. And people are still shocked by it. But as I found out on TikTok, and as I've figured out over the years, Americans think that whatever they're doing, everybody else in the world is doing. So if football season isn't happening in America, it's not happening anywhere else in the world, including Australia, which you would probably have at the exact opposite time of the year because they're in the southern hemisphere. I don't even know what the pathway of that thing is. Chinese rocket crash. Someone says they're tracking it. Chinese rocket expected to crash into Earth. No, what? How is that a title? Duh. Water is wet. Tracking. Can we track it? Tracker. Fine. I'll use this YouTube
De
video.
beste manier om het...
Dutch apps. The best way to protect your house is to get an alarm system for every door and window. Yeah, considering its wiggle, it doesn't even look like it can hit here.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want it to be on live anymore. Can I turn that off? No. Pause. Roll back. No, I can't. But like, it just doesn't. Because it's only gonna. It says like for the USA, it can only hit like as far north as like maybe Michigan. I'm like, well, I'm way north of Michigan. Way north of Michigan. Okay, did I cook everything right? Did I burn off a lot of my match? No. Whatever.
All goods and
Services for sale. More ravioli, inconceivably. Medley of transplanter spices. I love it. Love the names of these things.
Right?
To the mailbox. You're an engineer. You can put one down. Yeah, but that puts it on a cooldown. We can just run to the other side of Ormos. Literally, I'm Magfay. How is everyone? Well, apparently Maria stated or asked, you still play football? And that's pretty much yes, going to practice tomorrow. And FIFA Rebuilds says it's going to cross up, fall onto your field when you're training. Technically not possible. We're too far north. So that's what you've missed so far. You're 8 minutes into the stream and I'm finishing up some things on WoW. Like mailing fire-breathing food to my tiny-ass little crazy bitch. Oh my god, you swore. You need to meet Radza. I'm not swearing, I'm just stating nouns.
Also, when you join the chat, it shows everything.
Oh, okay.
It shows history.
Well, there are some people that are like, oh my god, what did I miss? And I'm like, I thought when I've joined chats, I've been able to read back, but I always wonder when people are like, oh my god, I'm so late to the stream, what did I miss? I'm like, you can read back or not? And maybe it doesn't show it on phone. People join on mobile.
True.
Because you got to think the live stream on mobile puts the chat on your screen while you're trying to watch my beautiful. It's terrible. So they may just disable the chat. I know Zachary tends to use a lot of his phone. I don't even know if he has a desktop. He's always on his phone. Is that? No. Oh, it's a PvP question anyways. Need seeds. 3 world quests with trainee, powerful foes, and Meldrags. I want to do powerful foes and Meldrags. I hate that hero. The only one I really like doing is Ardenweald because I could stealth around in the place. And trick everyone into killing a world boss. Oh, because I didn't know if you had a computer or not. You were always on your phone. And to be fair, I have actually watched live streams on my phone because it's way easier to move around the house that way. But sometimes if it's like I'm watching, I don't really watch a lot of live streams now. I have this dread fear I'm going to annoy Aaron with the constant yammering in the background of like watching dumb rock with live sounds. Not that there's really much interesting going on in dumb rock because there isn't many tourists. The closest thing we have to tourists right now is the Dutch coming into town to do shopping at like the big name shoe stores. Why? Because apparently. Well, it's fine. Spelling is not super required in this world. Neither is math or apparently understanding basic science concepts. I mean, America's still around and they're just having a TikTok comment fight with someone that I just basically bailed out of it because I'm like, I'm tired of having the umami conversation. And I even showed Aaron the comment for the last one. I was like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this. He's like, oh my God, they're gaslighting you so badly. It was like, what was it? Gaslighting, savior complex, and what was the last bit?
Oh, loaded family. Gaslighting, savior complex.
Oh, and then they started playing the victim.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was just like, oh my God. Bluetooth headphones are your best friend. Yeah. I know. I've got 2 pairs, but they don't have good range. Plus, I can't hook up Bluetooth to my computer. Can be done. Aaron does it. I don't care to do it. Why I have wired headphones, because I can just plug them in. Oh, tough crowd. Don't want to deal with it. What are you? Nope. We'll workshop it.
Did you tell Matthew Riley how long you've been?
Oh, the October was that practice. That's when we got there's Matthew Willett also. Yeah, that's the last time I was at practice. It was like the video was around October 15th. I've been able to really I keep thinking I'm on the wrong screen because I have my map open on WoW. And YouTube Studio practice. All right. Nope, I spelled practice wrong. Yeah, 10/5/20. Oh, 2020. Well, that was last year. Oh, that's not the. Yeah, it was that every practice is kind of unique. So we're looking at 10/5. First day of second lockdown, and I'm doing a thumbs down. So 10/13. Oh, never know until it ends. It was a Sunday, so October 12th was the Sunday that we stopped going back to practice. That Tuesday they engaged the lockdown, so I would have been Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So yeah, it would have been 10/16 would have been the next Thursday practice. And what was I doing on that day? I was making football video input request. You know, because I didn't have practice. Back to the chat. I'm having the most fun time with Social Security. I do not know what flavor of sarcasm you did with that. Josh Water Center. I don't want that. Ooh, Swarm Defense. You need a World Quest. JoJo started following you on TikTok. Okay. Gross. Okay, I'm gonna put some of the olive oil away. We'll probably have it later, but meh. What?
I was looking over because you made noise. Do you want to wipe it up?
Sure, I was gonna eat it, but all right.
And you probably won't get all of it anyway.
Whatever. So my checks have been reduced because I'm still living at home. Roommates are taking forever to find a place, and I still need to move out ASAP. There's Osimo. Okay. So you're kind of understanding why Aaron and I didn't get married. Although that doesn't necessarily affect anything right now. Apparently, like in retrospect, it probably wouldn't have affected anything. But I had to maintain independent adult. So you're still living at home. Yeah, they're going to reduce your payments because you have sufficient help with your stuff. Not necessarily sure if you got a back check or not. I know I had to wait 15 months, it felt like. Whatever. I had like a ton of stuff. Gorm Hive. I need to go Gorm Hive. That one's Gorm Hive. Yeah, see, here's the the more I look into it, the more I realize about my the TikTok I made about what's the one thing that tells you the United States is a third world country with a Gucci belt. And I did my own little thing, but I'm sitting here like we're dealing with like the poorest of poor people in disabled situations are having they're being jerked around by the system. Now, I'm not saying it should be a smooth ride, because if it's a smooth ride, you're going to get a lot of fakers in there. But it's not that hard. It shouldn't be as difficult and as slippery slope as it is, I guess. I was really quasi hoping we'd be able to get one of these mounts as our flying mount, the Veil Wing.
Yeah.
Like, it's been out long enough. I understand that stupid Fey Dragon can change colors while it's flying, but they should have made it. They should have given the flying mount for Arden Wheel to be a color changing Veil Wing. Like, even if it's only 4 colors to signify each of the seasons, kind of an orange, the bright pearlescent, a bright white, and then a brown or whatever. Yeah. Disability housing. Ugh. The one thing that I get bugged about with disability housing in the States is that every time I looked into it, just for sick curiosity, it was always in the oh yeah, we'll do this disability housing. Okay, so people that can't drive effectively, they can't really get around much on their own, and you're going to put them in a place so far away from even the shittiest of public transportation that the United States has, if your town even has it. And I was like, it's so much easier to stay in an apartment with like 4 other people that's near transit than it is to go to disability housing, which is like 5 miles from the nearest bus stop. It's not like Vancouver had the greatest transit system to begin with, but it was like, you guys could do better. Looking into doing web design stuff because it sounds like the thing I hate the least. Does Aaron know anything about that? He knows Jack Dealey and squat about web design. Dude's never seen a web page in his life, doesn't even know what F12 does on the keyboard. Yeah, my whole response about third world country with the Gucci belt is that American tourists just like no idea where they're at. Like they don't even do a cursory. They just up and travel. Like, and to be fair, there are a lot of people that just up and travel because they have the money and they need to spend it. They want to spend it. They just want to go somewhere. But even the people that kind of save up, like one of our friends came and visited us and he's like into World War II. And he's like, can we just go into Normandy? I'm like, that is an 8-hour train ride. That's not close. Oh, well, I thought everything in Europe was close. Well, yes, but it's not the same, and like there are many people that are like fully smart, like in their normal day-to-day life and not, beepy twats. Yeah. And so they just, but I've just, if you saw the vlog from weeks ago, there's this girl who's like dressing like a hobo and like, oh, I've never wanted to kill a tourist so bad in my life. YouTube, don't cancel my live because I'm talking about drowning tourists and slouches. It's just like, it's just so, like, she was complaining that she couldn't do a second gap year at university and travel around Europe because the pandemic stopped the world from working. And she was really butthurt by it. And she's dressed in like Ugg boots, Ugg jacket. Like she's dressed like a really ritzy looking hobo from like head to toe. And she's like, she looked like Maggie Simpson. I bring it up because Maggie Simpson is just absolutely paralyzed with the amount of clothing she's in. And I was like, homegirl, it is 12 degrees outside. What are you doing? I am in my light summer jacket and I'm sweating beyond all belief. What are you doing? And it's just, and I realized that I did not grow up in the even upper half of the country. We may have had money, but I didn't grow up that way. Most likely thanks to my dad. But I just, the casualness of spending money just doesn't, and like kids are raised just so blind to everything that's like, oh, well, California is the best. No, it's not. And it's like, it's super insular. Zachary, that is starting to sound like a terrible situation you're getting yourself into. because I helped. I had to over time help Aaron realize that his passion and what he really actually likes doing should maintain a hobby. Go ahead, make money from the hobby. Don't do it as work or it will kill your hobby. And he understands that. And I was like, you are relatively happy and okay with the work you're doing. And it pays well. It's not exactly what you want to be doing, but the working world will kill your happiness for your hobby. So that's what we're working at here. What you're sounding like is that, oh, I don't really like doing this, but it pays well. Might as well, grundle through and do it. That's so. You're going into it disliking it. Right, Aaron?
Yeah. And we were both saying the same thing pretty much at the same time.
It's
like I was typing up and then backspacing when you said it, and then typing up and backspacing some more.
Yeah, I was hearing the backspace. I was like, uh-oh. But that's it. And part of it is even my idea. I can barf up about Star Trek. I get the concepts that come out of quantum mechanics and space-time flexures, and like I can easily tricky rationalize some stupid existential stuff that comes out of Star Trek and spatial warp theory. And I watch PBS Space Time, and I get it all. And I don't want to do it as work. But Mom's like, but it makes so much money, when you finally get up there. And I'm like, yeah, finally get up there after 16 years of work. Even Mom suggests you should really get into coding. Mom, I don't like coding, but you're on that computer all the time. And I was like, it's like, I'm 39, going back to my memories of being 15. I'm like, is this a microaggression on Mom's part? But you're always on the computer. You should really do something for work with the computer. I'm like, no, I'm not good at that, Mom. That is not my thing. I told folks about that, basically what you just said, and they both said, you can learn to like a job. So that's where they're. I'm just going to say that it feels like in America, there's a culture in America of employment Stockholm syndrome.
Yep.
It doesn't really exist here. Like, Philip is like 20 years old, and he's going through Haveo, perhaps, for something. I think he's going in for business. And he's a bartender. He's been a bartender for like 3 years. I mean, is he 20 now or is he only 19? Whatever. He turned 18 and was finally able to serve me beer and was so happy to be able to do it. But yeah. And he enjoys bartending, but he doesn't want to do bartending. And that's like, he didn't learn to love it. He had his choice about what to do. And like Peter, who was in the gym way back when in the video, I think I posted a picture. I was like, because the Dutch don't really have OSHA, and you can just do little monkey bar flips to get on top of the CrossFit gymnasium to dust it. And he literally just climbed up like the monkey bars, and I was like, bro, there are safety concerns. And he went to school for fitness, or business management, and a little bit of fitness. And now in his home city, he's running a gym, or he's working at a gym. I think him and his friends kind of helped invest into their own little gym called the Fit Boutique. And I was like, dude, You are a himbo and you're creating a gym called the Fit Boutique in Ritzyville, Blaricum. Holy fuck. Oh. Peter. Christ. But that's, you know, don't that's the thing. You have disability and it's not something to stay on. It's not a thing. Did I already get on my no wonder I can't fight anymore. Sags and supplies. I'm talking and not paying attention to my quest. But that's, you have it. Find something that is not, don't work for the money. Work for what you want and the money will come after a fashion. Yeah, that's the concept. That's welcome to late stage capitalism. I almost ran into something, so I had to alt tab back, but I saw your first sentence. I feel like I don't have a choice. Yeah, welcome to late stage capitalism. I did put an application at a film fest here, which could maybe turn into a job, but who knows yet. Bro, so I didn't even have disability when I started YouTube. I applied in Vancouver after I had my gallbladder attack. The second one that put me in like the emergency room, and that's when I found out I had gallstones. I was on a fatless diet. That's also where the manho joke came from, but whatever. We can tell that one at a different time. And so I was going around with the roommate at the time, and they were helping me get onto federal disability. So I was living at apartment G351 when we applied. And then we lived for a whole year. Like nobody was sour with each other at that. I mean, it was starting, but it wasn't bad. And then we lived for a whole year at F55. And then we moved and I got lonely in Beaverton, started up YouTube in 2012. And then in 2013, before we moved to the next apartment, the one that is the Beaverton apartment, is when I got the thing and the back check. And we realized we had to spend a lot of money. So the old videos of like us going and seeing Broadway plays and going out and going to Comic-Con and buying costumes and getting the football gear and getting cars. That was us spending all that money, but it took me years to get it. And I still do YouTube because I didn't start YouTube for money. I started it as an outlet to talk. It's taken almost 9 years to find people to talk to. Yeah. I'm going to put in an application to volunteer. For legal reasons, this is not a job.
Yeah.
Like, that's what that is. Like, to be fair, they have to count and log time and stuff. I mean, I get it, but there's really shouldn't be a strict thing for volunteering. Like, the application should really only, I mean, I don't even know if it really exists here. That sort of crime, but like, have you killed people in the past? Most people don't here. I mean, there's not that many. Anyways, that's like the only reason is safety concerns for the other workers. Like, dude, I'm here to do free stuff. You just want to be around other people that are like doing actual work in this stuff. Like, I'm trying to be just an unpaid apprentice. And yeah, they get. you know, and in the film industry, I mean, that's basically it. You're an unpaid apprentice. Back checks. That's exactly what it is. It's a background check. But that's the thing is like, there's not a centralized system. I just realized that like, it doesn't really matter. Like, you have to do it there. Here, you don't have to do a background check. Everything is recorded through your BSN. If you were arrested, it's on your BSN. It's on your record. If you were fined, it's on your BSN. You know, they just got to contact the fucking government, and it's there. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
And it's not even necessarily that it's tied to your BSN, although it is. It's that's your worker number basically. It's your
well, yeah.
it's tied to something, but I don't know what.
But that's the thing is like, you know, log in through DigID. No DigID. Huh? Yeah, it's just the weirdest thing. But like the United States doesn't have a centralized. Oh, I meant back pay. What did I miss here? I'm doing World Quest.
You were talking about back check as in back pay.
Yeah.
And then you got distracted by something and changed to background check.
Oh.
I just kind of went off on a tangent.
Well, because I was talking about the weird reason to apply for stuff, and it was a security reason for like, you have a felony and a murder, and then I see the word back check, and my brain says, yeah, it's a background check. That's basically what an application for volunteering is for in the United States.
Yeah, the security thing came after back check was.
Yeah, because I said,
Yeah.
literally telling you, 633, put in an application to volunteer. Me rambling about why you need to apply for volunteer.
Get you.
That's what that all is. And then I saw the word back check and thought background check, because he's really bad at spelling and sometimes misses words and misspells into other words. And anyways, yeah, back pay. It should have been instant.
No. Yours took months.
No, it didn't. I got the thing and I got my back check in 2 weeks. It got direct deposited in my account.
What actually happened, it happened fast.
Oh yeah, everything. Yeah, and then I got the mail a week after that, or 2 weeks after that, at the end of October, and it was just like, bro, if you have too much money in your account, and that's when I found out that I can't save any of that money. So, blah. Yeah, like I already had, you know, and it's possible that you don't have a direct deposit bank account set up. No, like I got the letter and it said how much my back check was, and I mean that's 2012, 2013. No, it's 2012. Oh, it was 2013. Because we were already starting to lose weight, just general for happiness. And then I got the back check and I was so ecstatic by that one. And then we started doing stuff. And then in November, we went to go see What's Its Bucket. And I had an existential fucking breakdown because of it, because of American Idiot. And then I started playing football.
Yeah.
And by that time, we'd already had the Prius. So we didn't even use the back check money on that. Because we got that, because the Kia, the Kia just flat out died. Yeah. We got it on like the Memorial Day sales weekend. Well, that's what disability is. The letter I got says I'm gonna have to wait 6 months to get one and another 6 to get the other half. And like I said, things have maybe changed in the last 8 years. No, I got all of mine at once. It was like a dump of. I never had that much money in my account at any one time, and I was a little shocked. I was like, I'm going to squirrel this away. And I found out I can't squirrel it away, and I have to spend it within 9 months. And then I started like free railing off of everything, and guess what? I almost got my 10th month check docked because I didn't spend like the $19,000 in 9 months. There's Peterborg. So just letting you guys know, because I keep prefacing things in the vlog that went live hours ago. And so I realize that not everyone technically watched that video. This will be cut off sharply-ish, around 9 o'clock, because I got to get to bed early, because I got to wake up and edit and wake up and stretch and stuff, because I have to be leaving the house at 9 a.m. Yeah, you feel like you're stuck in a damn quagmire thing because you don't really get enough money to do anything, but you don't have enough money. Yeah. Disability is punished after a fashion. You play in the system and you don't complain. People are like, oh yeah, well, it's relatively okay, and it's not. It's super depressing. Tazan, Chalketh, oh yeah, Meatball, Carmelin, Chronokruk. Sure, I'm. No. Meatball? No. Seems like you get penalized as soon as you air. Yeah, you do get penalized as soon as the account goes over 2K. That's why technically once a week I'm checking my bank account because YouTube comes in sporadically at around the 21st, and the checks come in. 2 different checks come in. One about the 28th and the other one near the end of the month. So that's fun. And I think I checked it last, and I think I'm relatively okay. But I'm also like, I'm looking at that number and like, I should probably just like vacate tons of money from the account. Like I could just send more to Aaron, but it's not like ABN AMRO account hurting for money. Jury Fed.
No.
Longest rises. I'm not going to get 800 today. I think, yay, feed. Like staff. Falling below 10% health or mana unleashes glimmering light, damaging energies and healing allies. I mean, it's cool, but I like the mastery. I like the mastery on that much better. All right. I plant everything. I do everything. 6 seeds active. Camp.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, Domino's is fine.
Yes, that is a thing that's far less often. If you, but that's the whole idea of the 2K in your account at any time, and then your thing starts getting docked, is harkening back to the shitty minimum wage in the States. That's same idea. They're like, well, if you can have 2,000, if you can save up to 2,000, you're obviously not, living at your means. I get 700 a month. 700 a month. It would take me 3 months of not spending anything just to.
So, do we want a tiny 30 centimeter or large 35?
Large. Just like a double pepperoni works, nothing complicated. I was kind of in the process of thinking about carb loading today, but so pizza is fine.
Cool.
Just got a comment on my linebacker video. 5'9", 205. Should I put on weight or stay here? Middle backer going to the first year of high school. Stay that weight.
If you can.
You good, brah. So 5'9" and 205, and I'm sitting here at 2 inches taller than him and like 30 pounds heavier, so he's fine. But that's the thing, is that people just ask so much. They're like, oh my God, here's my height, here's my weight. And I'm like, you know what? We have a 9 foot, 50 millimeter check wide receiver, and we have a shorter than all sin albino wide receiver, and they're both excellent at what they do. Your height and your weight really don't matter unless you're going to be on the line. And still, even Oscari was really good at a tackle, and he was about my height. Like Oscari, he was a bit buffer than me, but still the same weight. And you could tell me, it's like, oh, well, I'm 210 pounds. Okay. Are you jacked or are you placked? It's not a word I know. It just came out of my mouth. Wow. Zachary didn't at you, so. Yeah. It's terribly penalized. People are like, oh, I wish I could be on disability. I was like, every bit of social assistance in the States, like the government makes you feel bad about it. The government makes you feel bad about it, let alone the social stigma amongst other people. Like I felt bad going to Winco with my food stamp card. Like in Hazeldale, 75% of their sales are from food stamps, and I still felt bad.
Yeah. Every time I see the pizza tracker, every time.
I know it's gonna be you forever on that. Next Breitert.
Yeah, social stigma is BS. But yeah. There's enough, so the whole, it's just, I do not understand social stigma. I mean, it kind of makes sense, I guess, but pop. People trying to
Just got a message from FedEx saying they couldn't deliver my package today.
couldn't deliver my package because I'm not home, and I've been home for the last 426 days.
Like, that was the stupidest things in Beaverton, because I'd be home waiting for the package, and they're like, yeah, we couldn't deliver it. I'm like, I didn't hear a knock. I live by the driveway. I didn't see your thing pull in. I didn't see no UPS pull in.
We couldn't get up the energy to.
Yeah. Turns out they went to the other Beaverton. No.
Probably went across the street.
Oh no, typically they were going across the street and they dropped it off, and then I'd get the package a week later because the person's like, yeah, not here. Send it back. Never actually had a package delivered wrong. Because usually with hand delivery, you have to go to the door and the person is still trying to check something. And suburbia houses can be, like, if they're looking at the little thing on the sidewalk, then they may not read the right number for which direction the house is. And you usually just hand it over to your neighbor. But
Yeah.
I bet you didn't realize you're burning your candles the wrong way. Yes, there is a wrong way to burn candles. But don't worry.
I don't even really burn candles, and I don't need to be told how I'm doing it wrong by TikTok.
Don't you want to get better?
Not at burning the candle I bought 2 years ago and still haven't even touched. In case it smells bad in here, and I want to make it smell like pine scent. You smelled that candle. It's a really good candle.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle R., we're going back into lockdown because people are dumb and paranoid about vaccines and too irresponsible to wear masks. I do not remember what country you live in. I remember your pictures, and I'm like, what country? Canada? USA's not going into lockdown. They can't at this point. I'm not sure. I've heard Australia is like hair's breadth away from going into massive lockdowns, but until then, the gays are in like massive club parties, like sandwiched together. Seen that one on TikTok. I'm absolutely atrocious by that one. America, Oregon. Ugh. Oregon. Yeah. What's funny is the people that are disobeying the rules are blaming the people that are obeying the rules. It's, well, if these kids wouldn't gather in the middle of the streets, I'm just like, kids aren't gathering in the middle of the streets. Plus, it's like, yeah, the issue is, at least with Portland, which is probably most of the reason, well, that and Eugene, the people flock to those cities because they're commercial hubs. But then you've got I don't really have to wear a mask just due to regulations in the town I live in because I'm never under meter from anybody. And so you just, oh, I know the gut. So you go into, it's people going to church that keep getting infected. Yeah, it's. I'm starting to vocalize the weird TikTok trends. Tell me United States has religious Stockholm syndrome without telling me the United States has religious Stockholm syndrome. I'll go first. Too many people are going to church and getting infected, so the state keeps going back into lockdown. Birthday parties, weddings. I just can't wait till you guys get till people out there in Mosier, Oregon are like, hey, I live in a rich little 4-car garage, 6-story house, and I need to have all of the explosives that Kanita and the Warm Springs Indian Reservation will ever sell for the next 25 years for a baby, gender reveal. Next thing we know, the entire gorge has turned into a seething hell pit, and all the wind coming out of it has just been superheated. And the U.S. Bank Tower is I'm melting. Long ago, the generalized term is indefinitely. That's pretty much what we're saying is at this point. So, yeah. Aaron has no intention of quitting his positions that would involve him living here or working here. And as long as he's doing that, I'm with him. And so we're here. We kicked in on this apartment doesn't have a lease per se, so we're not trapped into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last one that when we were there, and I was actually out at Hare Field working out, and it was smoky, we couldn't even see the sun. Or I looked at the sun and it was a dark orange ball in the sky, and it was so much smoke. It was 2017.
Yeah.
In the middle of the conversation.
Just the main tweet.
Okay. Yeah. Bye. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, but that's the thing is that was started by some careless folks, careless kids with fireworks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't imagine what a coordinated gender reveal party is going to do now that the entire state is going through drought. I think everything south of Seattle is going through drought conditions, and southern Oregon, where the Medford area is even worse for dryness, and California, well, it's just being
If
California.
California isn't on fire, I'm shocked.
Yeah. Someplace in California is burning right now, I bet.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I wish they just banned fireworks in my state. Oh, they ban them here too.
360 days a year.
coordinated gender wouldn't be the end of humanity. Yeah, I know. Like, I can't even imagine if something out in like Mosier or
If the mushroom cloud's blue, it's a boy.
the out in Mosier or even the Dalles would just be. Now, Mosier doesn't have that kind of. Stevenson on the Washington side would be great because it's sloping hills back there, not the sharp cliffs of the gorge. But you get there around east of the dam, oh God, Bonneville, and it's just a tinder bush out there, and you've got rich people that have no idea what they're doing. They're like, oh, we're gonna have a gender reveal party for our 15th child. We're trying to be the new Duggars, get our own TLC show. Eastern Washington and more. Ladies just cracked back, popping out kids like she's a damn baby factory. I hate banning or restricting things, but fireworks cause too many fires. Yeah. I don't know why they're banned here. They just.
Because they're so destructive.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's not it. Yeah, I have no idea. Because, yeah, fireworks are banned here.
New Hampshire. And that's the thing is like Oregon has the nothing over like 4 feet off the ground. Like you've got small fountains and the fruit seekers and you know the all that's ground flowers. Sorry. And like you little smoke bombs and little worms and stuff. That's what Oregon technically allows. But right across the river from Portland is Vancouver, and they're selling fucking skyrockets. The thing is, the Netherlands doesn't ban any of it. He bans it all or none of it. They have an on-off. Like here.
Show you how to do it the right.
Is a video. It's actually saved in my drafts. It's from Snapchat of 2019 to 2020.
Oh my God, the trash can's on fire. Oh, that too. But the trash can's on fire. Oh my God.
Yeah. People were throwing out their old cardboard and just burning it in the street. And I was like, hey, maybe that's what we'll do with our cardboard this coming day. We'll just like throw it out there. We're like, hey, y'all burning cardboard? Yeah. Whoosh, just throw it out in the street. And we got a bonfire going out and people are getting rid of their cardboard. Just, like we were walking by multiple fires in the middle of the street. There's just fireworks blasting all over Amsterdam. If you watch the live stream from there, I know Matt did. It just lit. The whole sky is lit up. Like that's just me on Snapchat taking stuff back. You know, not the actual live stream of things exploding. To my camera roll. Where do I get to my camera roll? I was like, wait a second, I could always go back to me. Camera. Oh, yeah. Here's a 6-second one.
It's kind of a treacherous walk home. It's kind of. What is that? The first bonfire of the New Year's? First bonfire of the New Year? Yeah. There we go.
It just Yeah. Like, it sucks to say, but there are 2 times you should probably plan a trip to the Netherlands, and it's during King's Day or during New Year's. um,
Country's just one giant party.
yeah, if you're the issue with New Year's is the fact that a lot of people are traveling, and you're dealing with Christmas prices.
Yeah.
With King's Day, that's at the end of April. If you plan ahead, you may be able to get cheapy deals on like spring break crap. But yeah. Taxes are less in Idaho, and Republicans hate paying taxes. Makes things better for themselves and others. Working bridges, nah. Who needs safe bridges? Yep. Like so when we came back from Groesbeek for camp, we had to drive into Germany momentarily to get back into the Netherlands because things were. Oh no, we needed to swing by an Aldi Zuid. Anyways, and so we did that. Yeah, is that a fat joke? You're fat too, big man. Anyways, but yeah, you visited in the fall and it was wonderful. But like, we drove into Germany to go to an Aldi and to get some stuff for the ride back. And we were driving on what I would consider normal roads coming from Oregon. And Mikhail, I think he stopped to get gas in Germany because it was overall cheaper. But the moment we crossed into the Netherlands, it was like. If you go back to today's video when I was riding the bike, you can hear what it's like going onto the really new bike thing. And then what it sounds, the music's over it, but I did leave the normal sound in. And I didn't really speed up on the bike, but you can hear I see it in the waveform. It's like, yeah. Then again, TikTok. I wish I could just stop people from talking to me about umami. I wanted to share a cute little anecdote on a weird video. Now people are trying to fucking gaslight me left and right.
Everyone loves umami. What are you talking about?
Everybody loves umami. Everybody can see colors. Everybody can hear sounds, right? Sorry. I literally explained why I can't taste umami to basically being like colorblind. They're like, that's like apples and oranges. And I'm like, no, it's not. I'm literally talking about missing senses. I'm sorry, someone who has night vision has the same issue. A part of their sense is less functional than others. You know, my dad couldn't hear high-pitched sounds through the train, like a watch beeping. You can still hear me. Couldn't hear my mom talk. Made their marriage wonderful.
First, using a wick trimmer or...
Nope. What do you want, train station? So when's you're just going down to drop those things off?
Yeah. Should be here 7:30.
Right. Well, don't be gone too long.
Oh, I was thinking about 2 or 3 miles around the block.
I don't even know what miles are on this island. I know that it's 2.3 from here out to the moat and around up to the water and across, and then follow the inside ring of the moat. I made sure all my stuff is ready. I've got all my stuff packed in a backpack. My helmet is inside my pads, inside my jersey. I don't fucking know if we're even wearing pads anymore. Nobody goddamn talks on that damn app. You know? So I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. I put in the Ben Air Morhe, and I was like, fine. I don't even know if we're having practice tomorrow, but nobody said we weren't. So I'm just gonna show up at like 10:30. Well, technically it's 11, but unless Marcus wants to put practice at 1 o'clock because the yoked are fucking practicing and can't be near the kiddies because we're gonna infect them with our adult diseases. Or whatever. I mean, I don't know if I'm ready for it. It's been since October 12th, so there's going to be a little bit of a... Going to have to warm up a bit more, but should be ready in the next couple weeks back to normal. Whatever. Because you're not in the old farts crowd yet, so we can't get anywhere together with you. I'm just going to be over there jumping up and down in tires and pushing against the sled. Or duck walking. Ed just loves duck walking. I don't even know if Ed can duck walk, though. No, he can. I've seen him do it. That's what you get for career linemen. I also have a video going live. It's a shorts, half an hour before practice on YouTube. Scheduled as shorts for 3 days out. That was fun. Can I do that? Oh, I need 2. Trying to get stuff done on Train Tycoon. The thing ends on Monday? Monday? 1 day, 18 hours. 1 day, 18. Yeah, it ends Monday at 2 o'clock. So that's fun. I think the only thing that right now that would cap off 2021 for me would be Cascadia. Do I want a volcanic eruption or the subduction earthquake? Nah, let's go full on subduction. Let's go on full on earthquake. That'll work. Apparently, there's an old farts protest going on at Barnefeld. Oh, Google, I don't want to fucking talk to you. Barnefeld. Yeah. I don't even know why they're protesting out there in the middle of fucking nowhere. Embroidery Museum, Dutch Poultry Museum. Like, what are you doing in Barnefeld to protest? Nobody goes to Barnefeld. Apparently they do, but they're just such old folks. Where, when, when? March 2020. March 2020 earthquakes. Zagreb? So there's one on March 22nd. Oh, no, there's, oh no, that wasn't the, I don't care, maybe later. Oh God, that website has so many ads. List of earthquakes 2020. By death toll, magnitude. Alaska, very strong, 7.8. 7.6, Alaska, offshore. That's it? Oh, it's only ranking the top 7. Jamaica, Turkey. I mean, you had to have probably been in the States. Everything locked down as of like March. But yeah, like I was in a 5.4, and my very first one, it woke me out of bed at 5:15 in the morning, and it was scary. But I'd been in 3 other earthquakes since then, and they were not anywhere near scary. Kansas, 4.5. The reports of bricks breaking off chimneys and sidewalks cracking in Hutchinson area. Alaska, offshore. There's so many in Alaska offshore. I almost want to ignore those. That was January. March. Quick facts. More information. United States, Utah, 5.7. 2020 Salt Lake City earthquake was the strongest earthquake in Utah since 1992. More than 50,000 people lost power in Salt Lake City, and some damage was reported. Hello, Mark. Reported to be, yeah. So, but it was a 5.7. What about it, though? Where is it centralized? I used to live in Los Angeles. There's a lot of lesser quakes. I'm taking that as just the one solid word, lesser quakes. Portland. Yeah. Lesser quakes. Type, normal, affected areas, Utah, fault, Wasatch Fault. Oh, okay. But it was 7.3 miles deep. That's barely any, that's pretty deep. The thing, so the geology about Portland is the fact that there's less earthquakes in Portland than there is. The problem is that's a bad thing. Like California is on a slip slide fault. So they have a lot of earthquakes, but they all average out a little bit. Portland and the Cascadia Range is on a sticky subduction zone. So what you're used to seeing is subduction zones that do this. This is shallow and it's really sticky because this isn't cold rock yet. Cold. We're dealing with temperatures we don't really understand. So it's cold, so it's not as cold, so it doesn't sink fast. And that's why there's a lot of mountains. Aaron's waiting downstairs to catch the pizza guy. Good. But it's sticky. So the Juan de Fuca plate, North American crust is sticking to it. We don't have a lot of earthquakes because the crust is stuck. I say we, like I lived there. I lived there for many years. Yeah. The force is going to break. It's gonna snap, and it's gonna snap similar to anyone between the ages of 35 and 40 on TikTok. 3.6 earthquake off the south coast of Massachusetts last November. First time I actually felt one. Yeah. Do you think you will live to see the Yellowstone caldera blow? Meh. No. Geologists say that it probably could, but the thing is we're not in its time frame. Like, here's the thing. If it has an average blow time of 750,000 years, and it hasn't done anything since we've been recording history on it, then we don't know what's going on. So we have to assume that it hasn't done anything for a while. And they've got a relative idea about Yellowstone. But even if they're like, well, yeah, if we're at 600,000, it means we have 150,000 years until we hit the average point. It could blow soon. It could blow in the next 10,000 years. It could blow in the next 50,000 years. It could blow in the next 100,000 years. It could blow in the next 300,000 years. To a volcano, those are random times. To us, we've been looking at the caldera geologically as a volcano for 50 years. The only earthquake that they talk about here in Indiana happened over 150 years ago, and they would stop talking about it. People from Indiana, since that water ran backwards. Meh. You wanna hear about water running backwards? Go look up the Oregon vortex. So you're telling me there's a chance? Yes, there's a chance. Although I think my lifetime will have a better chance of experiencing the Cascadia more than anything else. But what they've done about what they've done talking about a lot of the Cascadia plate or Cascadium subduction zone, convergent plate boundary, they've actually figured out and done a lot of the stress testing, and they realized that most likely the earthquake is going to have its epicenter somewhere off of, the mouth of Puget Sound, up there in that area. Yes, it does go into Northern California, but that seems to be where most of the stress is happening, is up there near Puget Sound. So Seattle's going to be fucking leveled, and I am living for it. What now? Oh, all trains idle. Supposed to be due for a 7.0. Everywhere is due for an earthquake. It's like the Irish talking about their weird weather. I'm like, motherfucker. So you're trying to claim you have weird weather? The Netherlands has weird weather. Portland has weird weather. Indiana has weird weather. Florida is weird. Brazil has weird weather. London has weird weather. Moscow has weird weather. Like, that's just, weather is weird. Well, mine's weirder. Stop trying to one down yourself to each other. You're not even, like, one-upping, but in that weird area where, like, I have it worse than you. I'm so, like, the TikTok I did today about toxic gay community. It's just, like, I literally scrolled through, what was it, 30-year-old TikTok? Whatever it was, just liking videos and commenting on videos to get my For You page to get away from the toxic gays. It can be. Problem is I can make text, but I can't center it on Teespring. I can only do left align, like that linebacker shirt I have, which makes me kind of think that when they made that shirt, they also did it. But the problem is the text editor in there is like super weird. And to be fair, I can put a text, multiple text boxes, I think. But it would be awkward. Like, I don't know how to I don't know how to do pictures and make things look cool. I have no eye for physical for still image design. I've tried. It just doesn't work. If I do somewhat get into it, I nitpick the shit out of it. I mean, I nitpick my football stuff. You think if I actually somehow made still graphics I'm not going to nitpick the living crap out of that one to the point where I hate it. Getting drinks. I was telling Diego, like, nobody says anything, and then I'm melting it. I was like, I put something out of it exactly. The answer is yes, but I don't know how much more to answer that with further questions. Looking forward to it, but I don't know if it's positive or negative. I'm always looking forward to football practice. That's why I have anxiety before it and after it. Well, not after it. At least not for like 6 hours or so after it. Did you get the garbage put in there just fine? It didn't like, okay.
No problem.
October 12th. Matt actually asked that earlier, and I went through the videos. It was a Sunday on top of that, which is general, which makes sense because the government puts out their press conferences on Tuesdays. So we have Sunday practice, and then Tuesday they were like, so we didn't get Thursday, and that's when I was like, let's have a video request review. And yeah. But nobody was watching football in the middle of October. So the video basically flopped. And that's when I did football 101 before that. That was during the summer. So if you want to do the time dates on that one, time distance stuff. Robin. My phone's going to be getting some notifications. Usually someone has to start up the Ben Air. And other people will join in.
And this time you did?
Yeah. The funny is I put it in at 7 o'clock according to the chat, and Robin, number 2, just put something in. And Homeboy doesn't have to because he's under the age of 25, 27. He doesn't technically have to check in. Time between dates. Date duration calendar on timeanddate.com. I swear to God that
They just have everything.
they have everything. I love it.
They also have the weather now.
Yeah, I would much rather trust Bow and Rotter.
Yeah.
Start date 10. End date. It's 9/5/2021. 209 days. 6 months, 27 days, excluding the end date. So all basically 7 months. I'll put that in the chat so you can come back and read it in case you didn't hear. Can someone pick me up from Barn Station? Well, it doesn't. Barnefeld. Barnefeld only has one A. Barn has 2 A's. We've had like terrifying rain. I asked what the weather was tomorrow, and I was so shocked by it. I told Aaron, like I came out of the bedroom, I was like, you should really ask your phone what the weather is going to be like tomorrow. And he immediately stopped it in about face and went to ask his thing. And I was like, I don't know what he's going to get shocked more about with the weather, but
Yeah.
it's been a while since I've been able to visually see when the warm front hits in the predicted hourly temperatures. Don't want to give any spoilers for tomorrow's vlog. Well, by tomorrow's vlog. So yeah, I put it in the chat because I know that, as Aaron says, the chat keeps in, so you can see how long I did the calculation. So
I'm not going to go into the conversation previously because this is a live stream, but I opened up Chrome to check on something and I saw one of my open tabs was unethical children's advertising. And this is one of the pictures that showed up. It says McDonald's advertising to children. Is it ethical? I'm like, It says be ready on the field. We have no changing rooms. I'm half tempted to just literally go to practice in my gear. Like not the shoulder pads, but like everyone else who like drives a car or can ride a bike in Hill for some. And I'm just like taking the bus. I'm like, I don't know if I have the ability to sit on my trunk like I did in the Prius and change into clothing. So but depending on the temperature, I probably will be able to come home in my gear. Not have to wear the jog pants or something like that. Well, I'll figure it out tomorrow morning. Uh-oh. Potential disruption due to thunderstorms. Royal Nederlands Meteorological Institute. Affected area North Holland. Meteoalarm.eu are possible. Yep, that's possible. From 10 a.m. CEST to Sundays 10 a.m. to Sunday 1 p.m. That's here though, RI Oostterrein. So starts at 11, goes until 1. So exactly during the thunderstorms. Is it actually pretty warm out there?
Yep.
It's 14. It just doesn't look it. It doesn't, I don't know. It just doesn't look 14 out there. It looks like it's, but tomorrow it's going to be 23. And then Monday, 16. Like, it's not a warm front moving in, it's a warm band. But the camera's not fully waterproof. Like, it's good for rain. You know, the other camera I could have literally submerged. But definitely probably one of those things I'm not going to want to record much in the rain if it's happening. So I'll try to get, like I did typically with previous Sunday practices. We're not going to the locker room, so again, I don't really have to worry about that one. And if I get my shoulder pads off, like even before most of the end of practice, because we can't do team, because we're still not able to intermix, you know, young folks with old folk. Can't really do team that well. I might already have my pads off and I'll just head out. I might be able to get home a bit earlier, but I'll do the typical thing and I'll let you know.
Yeah.
If I'm catching, there's usually a bit of time I have to wait before the intercity. How did we, oh no, I usually get the intercity or the sprinter that goes to Dalvin direct instead, because we go by and get the thing.
whatever. I'll do it at Hilversum Station, or I'll figure it out on the bus ride back.
Yeah.
I don't want to try to pull out the phone and figure it out. If I have a long time to wait, like if I miss the bus, I'll just do it literally at Augustinushof. Because that has a covered area in it. And I'll probably vlog there because the bus comes at like 14 and 44. And so if I get out at 1 and I don't get out there by that bus time, I have to wait like half an hour, and I'll probably vlog in there. I just realized I could do that one. But I won't be in my sexy football pads taking them off. Basically thirst trapping on YouTube. I have standards and I won't create an OnlyFans. I'm going to keep trying to thirst trap on YouTube. I mean, who knows? Maybe, you know, if there isn't much going on, I'll be able to actually film, or if I, you know, get super like exhausted on my lungs, and I can probably, you know, film something like the receivers doing practice or something. I don't know. I get that. It's playing it by ear because the weather tomorrow is volatile at best, predictable at worst. I swear to God, Zachary makes me check my IQ account every fucking week when he talks about. Because that's the inherent. I've been here like almost 3 years. I'm still paranoid about this. Okay. Definitely need to do something. The next checks are going to send that over. Hello, Jelly Duck. How's stuff going down in your neck of the woods? Is it hot down there? Is it raining a lot? Did you get any snow? Apparently everybody's been getting snow today, except us. And TikTok basically says, I don't know what, like people are like, oh, come on, guys, what's with this weather? It's May. I've never heard any consistent prediction for May weather in all the places I've lived.
Only thing I've ever heard is that you might get flowers.
Yeah, but that's just a weird, it's just that there's so much rain in April that it caused that. But it hasn't really happened because everywhere I've lived or seen massive weather reports of it, always seems like the seasons are shifted by a little bit. Like Mario Kart. Mm-hmm. Power to the Mario Kart. I haven't played Mario Kart in a long time, man. It's all which. So the first one I had on Super Nintendo, I think I played the one on the N64 when I was in high school because I'm old. I think we played Mario Kart 64, but at that point I was too busy on the PlayStation and was like, I don't want to deal with these kiddie games because I was in high school and fucking twerp. Yeah, it is Peach and Chill. It's just Domino's. It's not fancy. Not fancy at all.
It is totally possible to get fancy pizza here. We just didn't.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can definitely get fancy pizza here. I do want to go back to the terrace at Mama Doe. It's just the fact, like I said, this shit closes at 6, and I can't, for the life of me, figure it out. I mean, to be fair, people are now publicly day drinking.
As I've rode through the city, as I've gone through Iberg, people are just out on terraces with like whole ass beers at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Yes. Yes. That's why I hate Final Fantasy VII. Did I ever get into Final Fantasy? Yeah, that's why I hate Final Fantasy VII. And I love Final Fantasy VIII. Final Fantasy IX had some great things. It was the first time you actually got to see some serious CGI at the time for the summons, and you're like, this is awesome. Yeah. Fucking rats. Cheyenne. Won't be there tomorrow, so stay hydrated. It's going to be a warm day tomorrow. I need you guys to really realize how climatized we are here and how even from Portland, like when I first got here, we were at the tail end of the heat wave. And I was, ain't nothing gonna break my stride. Like I was trucking around, walking through town, shorts, tank top. People are running from the sun. And I'm just like, now I'm like, fuck it, I can't. So it's going to be, and this is our field, our medic is saying, it's going to be a warm one tomorrow, guys. Stay hydrated. Like, huh? And I understand I use Celsius. So tomorrow, during practice, so starting at 11, it'll be 17, 19, and 20. Those are the hourlies. 20 degrees is 68. We're going to be in the high 60s. And they're like, stay hydrated, guys. It's going to be really warm. Stay hydrated. (24°C to Fahrenheit).
24 degrees Celsius is equivalent to 75.2 degrees Fahrenheit.
We're going to get to a high of 75. And for any time, like, I understand that there's like the over-the-top inclusivity for educational YouTube channels, but I really was like, yes, queen, with technology connections. When he prefaced his previous video about, you literally have a calculator for these measurements. You can just ask it. You know, I do attempt to put in the Fahrenheit in my things, but I will make random things and I will talk about. Yes, they would hate the Florida. The thing is, yes, 75 is pleasant. 75 is pleasant down there where you go up into the thing. When the Netherlands had a heat wave in 2018, it was in the mid 80s for a month.
And it was awful.
Oh, yeah. Like Aaron wasn't that bad because he had gotten here, lived for a little bit of time, and then it got warm. And he's like, I've been doing this one. But we went through a winter. We couldn't even handle the net. Like, I don't need, like, to be fair, our friend Joe was like, he has no meat on his bones, but he was dressed in a parka. He had an umbrella. He had sweatpants. He had jeans on. He had thick socks and a big poofy jacket at King's Day. You know what I'm in? A t-shirt, shorts, and leggings. Because it was like 18 degrees. I'm fucking roasting. Yeah. So if you've seen his most recent video about the connection, you know, the thing, and that's the thing is I was like, I try to, if I know I'm talking about a lot of things that I can just, and it's a one that I know, I do. We have humid and it's awful. Well, you guys are literally right next. Like everything about Kuwait is coastal. Like it's pretty humid here. Like I think the weather thing will tell me the relative humidity right now. 79%.
Yeah, that feels about right.
But it was like I'm literally surrounded by water. I live on an island. So any little bit of heat is just gonna the water. I mean, not only do I have a moat, I'm on an island. So, but that's the thing is my football field has a slocha. This is a moat. That they have a slocha. That thing smells from time to time. I haven't actually in the summer that we were here and stuff. This one didn't actually smell that much. And I think that was what I told Peter Borg. What's the difference between a moat and a slocha? Slochas stink. Yeah, but that's the thing is like there's that thing between relative humidity and actual humidity, and things are just weird. So just to again with the how far north do you live, Theo? The summer solstice. We have a practice. I always open the calculator. June 24th is the practice. And that's a Thursday practice, so it'll be a night practice. The 21st is the actual solstice. But even according to time and date, the sun will set as I'm leaving practice at 10:04. And in June, we may have clear skies for days and in the colloquial days. And it's going to be lit. If I got a ride back into Amsterdam here into town, it'd still be daylight walking to my apartment after a Thursday night practice. But yeah, with like relative humidity, things are weird. But yeah, 79% humidity. But the humidity around here in the Netherlands rolls really high all the time anyways. That's part of the long-term, which always makes me wonder, like, why am I just sweating all the time? Because it was not that humid in Portland. It's humid here. So I start doing a little bit of sweating, and I get a lot of sweating. Like, I am not that out of shape to be sweating up a storm going to Albert Heijn when it's 6 degrees out. Like, the relative humidity is so high. How is Subnautica going? Better now that I have the little craft. The damn thing disappeared last time. I had to go build another one. I have no idea where that thing went. It just up and despawned on me. I don't know. But yeah, I taking my time, doing what I need. No, not memorizing everything, but been like, okay, so this is what I need. I should probably build this. And I literally just poke out and go and find the necessary things and build the thing I need. And I have lockers inside the base, and I can, I have storage stuff, so I don't have to, I went out and gathered a whole bunch of copper, and now it's sitting in a thing. Going fine. I now have to re-upgrade. Yeah. And that's part of the thing that I just because Portland didn't have that much relative humidity. We had not water everywhere. The Netherlands has water everywhere, controlled water everywhere, but that's the thing. Everyone's trying to get rides from Hilversum Station or something. Text Ed, he isn't in the group.
Why is Ed not in the group?
He just doesn't want to be in the group. You know Ed. But that's the thing is I'm sitting here like, meh. Like people are like, can I get a ride from Hilversum? I'm pushing the last minute there, folks, huh? Like I literally was waiting at the station for the bus one to leave one time. And I think it was somebody came super early and they're like, man, my train got here super fast, or took the wrong train. I'm like, okay, you want to take the bus with me? I'm like, no, I'm going to get a ride from Dennis. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll get a ride from Dennis. And like Dennis usually shows up shortly after I do at practice, but oh, it'll save you money. Well, yeah, it'll save me money, but it's just awkward. TikTok calls me out on hyper independence, and I'm like, uh-oh, what are you doing? I have no idea. Enough to run one side of the ball and have some people on the sideline. But we don't technically have two sides of the ball because we're short on linemen. Welcome to the Netherlands football. And semi-pro in the States. And much other football games. Because in order to be effective as a lineman in this sport, you have to be of hefty weight. It's kind of, there's a few genetically predisposed to being larger guys, but many Europeans are pretty skinny. So, yeah. My factory's done. I can't send anything out on my things because my factories are still building. Okay, there we are. Boom. Okay, let's finish this. To Stockholm? And then that. Okay. Now I've got all my trains out for an hour. That's good. Well, when my trains come back and it tells me about that, it will be time to almost end this thing. What's stupid is like, so I'm not going to be going to bed at 9 o'clock, but I'm definitely going to be disengaging from things. I'm going to be like laying in bed, calming down, vibrating muscles, watching a shit ton of TikTok. 5'11", 205 pounds, but I think I'm too old to play football. In the States, probably. They would look at you awkward. 205 pounds is a little light for a lineman. Like they'll take, if you could lineman, you could probably get onto most generalized recreational teams as a lineman, but at 205, you'd be very, very light. You'd have to have great footwork and whatnot for that, because you don't have necessarily the mass to resist. Static inertia. That's what I was thinking of. You don't have the static inertia. To resist the power coming at you. Yeah, see, Dennis just said that he can pick up the guy from the station at 10:30, and I'm like, I'm literally going to be at the field at 10:30. The blue light filter is always on my phone. I turned it off one time. I couldn't even see what the difference was. So, sorry, it's not called a blue light filter here. It's called an eye comfort shield. Look at it right there. It's that little dimmed button right there near my finger. Eye comfort shield.
Eye comfort shield. So pretentious.
It's fucking blue light filter.
I jump in the
Okay. Still thinking about that TikTok I stitched.
Oh my gosh. What do I do? I'm currently old enough to have We Will Rock You and Holla Back Girl stuck in my head now. Oh my gosh. What do I do?
That's just... So his whole thing starts out, he's like, hey, so you're... So
You
it's...
may have a Lego Death Star.
Or you may have a Lego Death Star, but can you chug an entire sparkling water without burping? And so he starts chug, 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 chug. And then, like, it comes back up out his mouth, and he just uncontrollably burps and has no idea what to do. And I've seen other people attempt the sparkling water challenge.
Of course. It's
I went through that hashtag, and I'm fucking living for it because people are like, I can do it. Like, and they just start uncontrollably burping, and they have this look of panic in their eye. And it's just like, because they're like, oh. And I'm like, you know, other people are like, so I tried this because I figured like the person had something in their stomach and it fizzed up at the last minute, but I've got nothing in my stomach. I have not eaten all damn day. I'm going to chug this thing. And I'm like, no, it's the stomach acid that does it. And all you have is stomach acid. Probably puke. But that's the thing is I heard that and I was like, do I want to like, or Holla Back Girl? Just like I couldn't figure out which one would be better, but I didn't have the video. I didn't want to download the video and put it through the editor to get it cycled over and over like that. I just was like, let's just stitch this and let other people.
Currently old enough to have.
One of my idle TikToks is still sitting back there of this one.
Hey there, fellows and eels with an X. Can you just like refresh your brains about the lyrics and listen to Sunny Came Home and then stitch this? Hey there, fellows and eels with an X. Can you just like refresh your brains about the lyrics and listen to Sunny Came Home and then stitch this?
And if you're not in that older group that's just absolutely like you've kind of moved away from home, you've definitely got your own stuff, and yeah, there's some songs from the 80s that you go back and you're like, who was this art, or was this a personal recounting of the information? I don't know. Grandma and grandpa will be talking about memes of their grandkids. Yep. But that's the thing is like, you may know the song Sunny Came Home, but just read the lyrics while the song is playing. If you've definitely been outside of your hometown and you thought, and it's just, well, it was high school is identifying with the Vampire Squad
Being an adult is identifying with Giles.
You broke me.
Aaron, you broke me. It's like you're in high school and you watch Buffy and you're like, man, I'm a lot like that. Man, that guy's pretty cool. Man, that's pretty cool. Now you're like 35 and you're looking at Giles, been like, my dude, my dude, my dude. And so,
Still love his response to something. Don't remember what.
don't speak Latin in front of the books.
Not that one. But yeah,
But it's not even like the cautious thing. It's just don't speak Latin in front of the books. Like it's been there, done that.
no. The one I was thinking of was, don't worry about it. I still refer to you a lot of bloody colonials sometimes.
Chat.
Doing good, Melvin. But it's easier if I just, chat.
Yeah.
The greater things about living in Europe and the Netherlands. Recycling. I love it so much. Smash. Smash. The greater things about living in Europe.
Smash.
Yeah, there's then there's the whole idea of like falling down a hole.
I think I might have some ADD.
Oh God.
I think I might have some ADD. I'm editing a YouTube video. I'm watching kids out on the skate park, and I'm too busy watching a bunch of TikTok. I've got coffee. I think I might have some.
I think I might have some ADD. Yeah, they are very satisfying. Like, it's going to be one of those things I'm like, I like to recycle glass, but if I'm not going to be drinking nearly as much beer, I'm not going to be able to do that as often. To be fair, I didn't do it as often anyways because I bought some of the beer bottles that could be returned, and rather than smash them, I'm going to go get 10 cents.
Which is somehow more and less satisfying.
That's true.
A little bit of personal time here. Kind of weird.
Not really a vitamin, but yeah.
Leg day. Anyways, I couldn't sleep last night. Anxiety, possibly. I don't know. So I got into TikTok and I saw someone say that my name has more hashtag likes than yours, and other people are like, "Look, mine's in the billions." I was like, "What the fuck do I have for Theodore?" I fell down a hole. I fell down a hole of Chipmunk's head and Lady Gaga's Bad Romance, and I don't know anymore.
That was that was a hashtag follow I didn't really want to go down because every once in a while I forget about Alvin and the Chipmunks. Oh yeah. Yeah, to be fair, I'm still I cannot be not in Camp Theodore on that discussion just because of my name. But I actually backed it up with the Wikipedia article for him as to why it is Theodore. Because like in Chipwrecked, and they also sing it later, they sing Bad Romance. And there's this really high note. And
People are like, nah, it's one of the Chipettes. It's one of the Chipettes. I'm like, no. You can hear all the Chipettes singing, and you can hear them. Who is singing the high note? People are like, it's Theodore. It's always Theodore. It's got to be Theodore. And people are like, it's not Theodore. Theodore doesn't sing. I'm like, yes, he is. He is the upper harmony. It's on the Wikipedia. Simon sings the low note. Alvin sings the mid notes. Simon's the bass. Alvin's the baritone. And Theodore's the fucking tenor. You know, that's their trio of harmony. So when you hear... Come on. Where is it? That high note? That's Theodore. Yeah. Like every time the high note comes up in Bad Romance on that movie, it's Theodore singing the note. He is canonically the tenor. It was like, it can't be Theodore. Like, it is Theodore. He's always done it. I do not hit high notes.
Okay, I'm not laughing. I'm serious right now. If the last year enough.
Yeah. Video game was great. Yeah. I didn't actually play that one. I didn't have a lot of I didn't have a lot of NES games. It was old. Like I had so my parents got it for me. And my dad played a racing game on it. And I had Mario and I traded games. Like I had Adventure Island and I think I had, I'm going back to my brain and I'm trying to figure out which one I had on what. And I don't know between that and the SNES. Everything's kind of blurring back then. But I know I had Adventure Island because that game was kind of, yeah. I really, really, really tried to beat that game. But when everyone's just like, back in my day, we didn't have a save function. I'm like, I know. I had Jurassic Park for the Super NES, and that didn't have a save function either. But even Super Nintendo had a save-ish function. But Nintendo, it didn't much. You just had to play through. I know, like that's why I was like early '80s TikTok is why I was what I was going through on the thing because I was just like I need my people back. I had way too many toxic gays hashtags. 80s TikTok party, early TikToks. Oh, where were you at? Oh no, it was not early 80s. It was 30s TikTok. It was just early 30s. Early 30s crisis. Early 30s, mid 40s. No. Early 30s we run TikTok is a hashtag. But yeah, like there's this general like that's like because we're at 2021 right now, you're definitely getting people living in their decades that were born in a certain decade
are living in a decade. Like we're not like split. So like if you're early 80s, if you were born in the 80s, you are between 30 and 40. That's what I'm talking about. So like, and this happens every 10 years. Yes, it's true. But, and so we're now able to really look at groups of people, but like you're a 90s, you were born in the 90s because you're, 20. Yeah, we have July 11th. I'll be turning 40. So I'm seeing all these like TikToks of like, 90s kids. Oh, really? What's going on in here? And like they open the door and you hear that like horror music, and inside the door it says turning 30. And they're like, not going to deal with that right now. And I'm like, yes, you will. But that's the thing is like, people are like, oh my God, I'm going to die at 30. No, you're not. No, you're not. Most people I know currently in their lives that are like around my age didn't actually start living until they were 30. Well, yeah. It starts in 1981. We are the eldest. And that's what some people don't like. Some of the guys on my team don't actually get. They're like, oh yeah, Theo, you're really cool. And I drastically look younger than him. That was one of my TikToks. I'm dressed in my football gear and I sat down. This is for all those people who look drastically younger than they really are. Represent. And I pointed my finger up and it was like 39. And even one of my German friends was like, no. I was like, is this a German meme I don't understand? To ask the question, no, did you not know I was born in 1981? But that's the thing is like, I didn't really, because we had a roommate who was a couple of years older than me, and he was in the process of turning 30 and was being a queen about it. And
I mean,
he was a queen about everything. But it like it was bad. And I was like, dude, like what? I could not functional like here's my stupid autistic brain like trying to figure out why everyone's freaking out over turning 30, and I cannot find any societal, scientific, biological evidence that 30 is a major turning point in life. I still don't see it. It's one of those self-perpetuating bullshit stories. People keep saying it, so it keeps like there's a shockwave of people worried about 30. And I'm like, why? And it's only because people say it, which is getting back to the idea of people hate Nickelback because other people hate Nickelback and have said they hate Nickelback, but nope. And I've never actually found anyone that has a reason. Oh, everything they do sounds the same. You are listening to Blink-182. That whole album sounds the same to me. This is different. This is a depression song. This is a happy song. This is an angry song. You have no reason. And hearing the Nickelback hate was like my first little window into the idea of hypocrite, but not really hypocrite. I mean, I'd already gotten a lot of hypocrite through Catholic school, but it's the idea of like a hypocrite is literally doing something you say not to do. But then there's that weird, like, I guess we can call it social or cultural hypocrite, where you hate something for the exact same reason you love something else. It's still a hypocrite, but it's a little different because it's not involving you per se. But it's just like, yeah, like to the point where I'm hearing people like, oh, well, I don't really like this apple. Why? Why don't you like this apple? Well, Kelly gave it to me. That's it? Is there anything wrong with the apple? No, no, it looks like a really good apple. I just don't like it because Kelly gave it to you. Yeah. So you don't like Kelly? Kelly's great. She's wonderful. Great girl. So why don't you like the apple? Because Kelly gave it to me. Like, that's it? What if I give you an apple? Oh, it's fine. I'll eat it. It's great. It's the same fucking apple. Oh, the religious extremists are the biggest hypocrites. Yeah, they actually do. They you know, they don't practice what they preach technically, but what I'm looking for is a double standard. They are. It's that double standard. They'll apply and that's the same thing with like the politics. People are whipped up to hate things that are actually good for them because you know, there's the double standard. It's just like, you know, I want to get a handout, but nobody else should be able to get a handout. Why? Because that's feeding off the government, except for when I do it. That's not feeding off the government. That's just needing help when I need it. Sort of. What? And it's less so here perplexing, probably because the Dutch just give no fucks. And that's part of the reason I'm going back to practice, because I need more of don't give no fucks in my life. I need a little bit more of Dutch infusion. God forbid they talk on social media, they talk online or anything. Well, I fucking love the fact that, like, when it comes down to religion in the Netherlands, like 53%, I think, is the one thing that I found is just unaffiliated. Because I've asked, like, I think I asked Frank, I was like, so do you ascribe to religion? He goes, I don't care. It's not that he's an atheist, he just doesn't care. Like that's even though, like, I come to the Netherlands and I found another type of religion. No fucks given. Because like with atheism, it has that sort of against God, agnostic is, yeah, it's kind of there, but I don't really like know how to describe it, but yeah, it's kind of there. But then there's just like, doesn't run my life, I don't care about it. That's fine. Like, that's totally exactly what goes on. You know, that's a George Carlin joke. I don't like abortion. Well, why don't you, you know, I don't see these ladies adopting any crack babies, sort of thing. You know, American conservatives are obsessed with the human body up until the age of birth. Then they give no fucks about you until you can get into the military. Once you're born, you're on your own. No.
I just found out I'm an exennial. Anybody who was born in the late 70s, early 80s understands that we are the forgotten generation. We are basically the middle child who got forgotten on Christmas and somebody gave them half a pack of Oreos. That defines our generation.
I'm seen.
I just found out I'm an exennial. Exennial. Anybody who was born in the late 70s, early 80s understands that we are the forgotten generation. We are basically the middle child who got forgotten on Christmas and somebody gave them half a bag of Oreos. That defines our generation. People who were slightly older than us had this very firm generation. They were Gen X. They were cool. And then this generation that was coming up below us were so strong. And there were we, hanging out on the side of the playground. We got the kickball that was half inflated. We got the orange Tootsie Pops. We got no name. None. And then when they picked a name for the millennials, it was kind of salt in the wound because we were like, hey, yo, remember us? 5 years worth of new humans? And then when you guys named us, you took the names of the people that we weren't and the other people that we weren't and combined it into one name. You couldn't even come up with something cool. I mean, it's nice to be remembered finally, but it's weird being part of the forgotten people. As someone who loves marketing, I don't even know how you market to us. Feel forgotten? Buy everything. I just found it.
Feel forgotten? Buy everything.
I'm an exennial.
Yeah. Where? Her? No. No, that's a. She's talking about Zennial. I don't know what generation you're from, but you're kind of doing what she said justice.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like she's. Then there's like how different generations express love to their children. Generation what? Zennials, remember this? Yeah. Yeah, no, she's basically talking about like what is currently, I believe, kind of being called the Zennials with a Z, and this is an English fuck up royally. That there's this like late 20s, we're looking like 25 to 35. And these are the millennials. If you're ever going to complain about the millennials, you're talking about 25 to 35 currently. Technically, it does go all the way to like 23 to 39, 40, but the most of the millennials are in that 10-year span. The Zennials are the ones that are like, they don't feel, they're the ones kind of exiting high school right now. They don't feel a part of any real generation. It's like the zodiac cusp. I don't, it's that I don't really feel fully a part of a Leo, and I kind of identify with a Cancer a little bit. Okay, so I'm actually a Leo, but I feel super emotional at times, so I'm a Cancer cusp, I guess. And like fuck it. But yeah, it's broad generalizations never work, and that's the problem. Is we did have functional generations that lasted 15 to 20 years, and they were separate, they were punctuated by wars, for lack of a better word. Like we had the turn of the century, then World War I, then World War II, and then Vietnam, and now we don't really have much of anything, and technology is fucking us all up. No. She's talking about the fact that like Zennials don't know what they are. Like I'm in marketing. How do you market to us? Feel forgotten? Buy everything. And that's what I see on TikTok. They're just like, I don't know how to be a minimalist. That's for rich people. I've got adult money now, and I still feel like I was unsupervised for 20 years, and I'm buying childish stuff. I'm watching TikToks about people in their late 30s just losing their shit. I've got adult money. I've been unsupervised. I'm rolling around my apartment in Amsterdam on rollerblades shirtless, watching TikTok. I am 39. I have been unsupervised for way too long. And the general idea, like, for many other people, like, oh, I don't really fit into that one. All right, you have adult money, you know, and I've seen people that are like, ho, 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 do you have a blacksmith's forge? No, I like the blacksmith's forge. How many swords do you make? Like, literally, medieval swords. You just go out and buy iron and make steel and stuff of your own volition? Yeah. What do you do for work? Oh, I work in business. So your hobby, which spends mess tons of money, is just to make swords in your garage, right? Yeah, so manly. Yeah, you're it is good exercise, but that's the thing. Like, I was explaining this last week, that there's like this 12-year gap of our lives where everything was like, and it happened at 9/11, and it just shut the Zennials and, you know, the 34 to 39, that 5-year gap, they just shut us down. Like, we were out into the world, leaving high school. Things are gonna what's happening to the world? Like, we graduated high school, and then the very next day it was the purge. It felt like, and we're like, okay, I have to live on survival rations now. And now it's sort of like, okay, I've done everything good. I've done everything right. I've got a kid. I've got a house. And I didn't have a 20s. So now I have adult money and the mindset of a 20-year-old. But yeah, I say that people enjoy things. And that's like the Dutch, you know. My dad had the bumper sticker, live and let live, which I think was weird. Like, I didn't understand what it was when I was 9. Why would a 9-year-old understand that? You know, because I was, you know, plus probably pretty autistic at the time, not self-managed by that. And so I didn't really understand it. But now I'm just like, yeah. What's this one?
What are you? Basically a mix of both of you. How? Did we make a baby? No. What are you? I'm basically a mix of both of you. How? Did we make a baby? No, I just relate to both of you. We're related, so we did make a baby. No, I have similarities to you both. I just want to be there for you, son. I'm not your son. Hold on, so who's this guy? Hi, I'm a millennial Gen Z mix. Damn. You both know I can't pay this much child support, right? But what are you? I'm basically...
Yeah, so there's like the 5 generations having an issue right now. That's it. Adult money with the mind of a 20-year-old, because your life had to go on pause and you went in survival mode. And I don't mean like literal, like you're hoarding food like a Mormon looking for the doomsday, but you basically nose to the grindstone. You got the job, you went through school, you got the family, you got the nest egg, you got yourself out of debt, you got a good credit score, you got the house, you've moved around, you may not even be at home anymore, and you've just been grinding to get what you were told to have from the boomers and the Gen Xers, and everybody had it so easy, and you're like, I can do this, but fucking 9/11 broke us. And now it's like, okay, what's it like to live? I can live now. I can breathe. And now, like I said, you got a 20-year-old with adult money. And when you know, it's stupid because when you actually give, I'm going to bring up Johnny Manziel here. If you don't know him, he was Mr. Football. I think he skipped out on a couple of years of college to go play in the NFL. Superstar, went out, got a butt ton of money, big old contract, and basically threw his life away with like drugs and cocaine and this. I was like, this is why there's so much burnout in the NFL, is because these hot star kids are too busy in their teenage years putting their grindstone to the football, and they go through college and they finally get to the NFL and they're teenagers with hundreds of thousands of dollars. What do you expect to happen? Oh yeah. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a fun ride to watch. Going to be one of those
Part 2 on Exennials. If I had to put a word on them, trouble. If you grew up before
if I could put a one word on to describe Zennials, it'd be troubleshooters. I bet Kyle will probably agree with that one. Aaron's over there like looking like he just got attacked. It's what I do. I've got people older than me that are like 5 years older than me. They're just like, ha, 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 ha. Yeah, technology. I think they can function a bottle.
God, I hope so.
This thing, we all know what this is. It's not the actual brand, but we all know what this is. On button. Boots up. Fully charged. And you hit record. The Gen Xers are like, well, what do I do? Like, they just have a brain block on tech. But then you've got some of the millennials, which like they get in, they just like they expect some things to kind of be given. And the Zennials are sitting here like, I don't know how to do this. I'm gonna figure out how to do it. And yeah. Because that's what happened. 9/11 happened, and the world went away from us. We're still here. And we got to figure out what to do in a post 9/11 world. And so, yeah. That's so part of the thing about masks is I got to agree with Hank Green on some of this, that masks are not inherently bad, but I mean, they're obviously good. They have their purposes, but I am not going to be riding the train with a mask on. Like if I want to go to Munich, I want to go to Berlin, I'm not holding on mask on my face for 8 hours. Even if, you know, in our private cabin, we don't have to wear it or whatever, because it would be a sleeper train. But yeah, it may be one of those things that during cold and flu season, I might go shopping with a mask on. I'd always been a little weirded out by the fact that the Asians did it so often, and I wasn't sure if it was because of the smog in Beijing, but then I saw a whole bunch of Japanese doing it, and I was like, why are you guys doing it? And, you know, it's one of those things that even if I'm like, I got a little bit of a cold, like we're totally after this, we're totally next winter, and we're past this. I got a little bit of a cold, kind of sniffling a lot. Maybe I should wear my mask while I'm in the grocery store today, so that in case I do happen to breathe out some stuff, I'm not getting other people sick with a fucking cold. And all I have to do is wear a mask for half an hour. That's it. I think I can do that. Beyond into the future. Like I said, I probably won't ride when riding a train or a bus. Center for Disease Control said that America may not make herd immunity. Yo, I saw that Daily Show. Trevor Noah talked about that. We have to get a lot of our news from the internet. So, like,
You know that there was like
Bo, the Fifth Column, and Daily Show, and Nerdy Boy and the White Void. Literally just based John Oliver. That's not news. Yeah, that might as well be news. Even Jon Stewart said it, that more people. I will actually find it. I can't think of the direct quote. What was that? It's making 30% show themselves. And I'm realizing more about the general public. Yep. I just growing old. I always wear one in public, even though they bother me for sensory reasons. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, you know, if I'm excessively coughing because I got a scratch in my throat, I don't know if I have a cold. I rarely show symptoms. I had fucking COVID, and I seriously thought I just had a flu. The only reason I'm pretty definitive is that I lost my sense of taste and smell for a week and a half. Yeah, and that's like, I wear one now because that's just, well, that's the rule, and I have no problem doing it. But like I said, in the future, when we're not required to wear one everywhere, there's going to be places, and I'll definitely do a little bit more staying home. Aaron will probably be like, you know, I'm feeling a little icky today, but I've got this whole setup from the whole last year. I'm actually going to work today. I'm just going to work from home. I may not work much, but at least I can get in 6 hours at home rather than travel all the way there while I feel gross to get 6 hours in and come back. I'm like, yeah.
in your words, a propaganda. I said I'm a comedian first. That's not the point. A comedian is harder than what you do. What I do is much harder. I put material through a process, a comedic process. I don't just
you are a political commentator. The comedy has a political.
Some of it.
Here's your take on GOP presidential candidate Herman Cain.
That's why I go to only allow small business. 3 acres. If I am president, treaties will have to fit on the back of a cereal box. From now on, the State of the Union address will be delivered in the form of a fortune cookie. I am Herman Cain, and I do not like to read.
You planning a remake of Amos and Andy?
That's apparently not the clip I was looking for. That's hilarious, though. But there's one where he says, like, he's ripping into Chris Wallace and says, like, the American public gives Jon Stewart more cred with the news than they do any other major media. And it's like, it was like super telling that more people were going to the Comedy Central Daily Show for accurate news than they were pretty much anything else.
Maybe. I think it did. But because I remember that they were talking about the fact that Herman Cain was at the was at a rally or a convention, something, and he was maskless, and he was telling people not to have a mask because COVID is a blah blah blah. Yeah, super spreader event.
Sarah Palin email. You really think that's a political comment? I'm not an actor. I'm a comedian. All right. And my comedy, what I do is, so has that existed a lot? But it was conservative. You can't understand because of the world we live in, that other places, because they receive marching counterweight like that. There is no partisan walking down the street. It's a form of subtle
Yeah. Just it's gonna do. I found the hour-long interview, and it's gonna take a while to search through that because I forget what minute mark it's at. But yeah, there was a whole Jon Stewart bitching with Chris Wallace interview, and yeah, just was going crazy. But that's the thing is, that's the dividing line. That's the line in the sand. There we are. The line in the sand is between the ages. And I understand that Gen X are elevated to boomers for this fact. But Zennials is the line in the sand of trusting like the major media and like thinking for yourself, because the Zennials watched the world break. Watched the USA break before their eyes. And then in the scramblings of trying to piece together this fractured world comes pretty consistent internet, and we start piecing our lives back together with the internet on cable internet. When was Wikipedia founded?
Ages ago.
I stopped watching the Young Turks because Anna got one, I used to watch their live show.
January 15, 2001.
Okay. That is a weird way to say that. But anyways, so Anna, like, Anna bugs the fuck out of me. I watched the Damage Report because they're funnier. But anyways, I don't think anything. Yeah, that's the thing, Peter Borg, is that's kind of the dividing line, is that it's, and I know you agree with the Zennials part. It broke us because you really like that rant I did walking over to Steicher Island. It's a talk show. It's not news. News is fluid these days. It's starting to become dissolved, and people are holding on to the word news as something that holds clout. So, but that's the general idea. As Aaron said, Wikipedia came around in 2001, before 9/11, but it really wasn't a big deal, and everyone was divisive on it. But let's put like the impact of 9/11 and then 5 years after that. Just this 5-year
finding our shit, going through college, yada, yada. Then we come out, we get jobs, we have cable internet, and Wikipedia is already 5 years into its thing, and everything's going crazy. And now we're trying to figure out what our lives are, and we have the vast world at our hands. And it immediately separated us from Gen X, who had everything put together and had everything nice in their nice little boxes with their little thing. And then there's a dividing line. And after that, people start lateral reading after a fashion. You don't train one source because one source of information isn't complete. The development of the internet and the global information age was pieced together as we were trying to find our identities. So we learned to find our identities elsewhere, and people were coming into their adulthood and finding other niche communities. And to be fair, with the QAnon and the MAGA crowd, this is a bad thing. But for other people, they don't feel nearly as squashed when they're sitting here like, I am 35 years old, I have adult money, and I know a lot of furries, and I kind of like the idea. Not me. I'm just going to buy a fursuit, and they can live a happy life. You know, because if they'd have been in the Gen X style mindset, they wouldn't have done stuff with the internet. They wouldn't have found furries. They wouldn't have snapped at the age of 32 and said, I am fucking tired of living the other world everyone wants. I'm going to go play fucking football. That is me. There's that. Anna, like I said, Anna bugs me beyond all belief. She gets so enraged, but she stifles it to maintain an appearance. And then she bitches at people and doesn't do the exact same thing because of the appearance. That's just, I can't, like I said, I just stopped watching it. I just literally unsubscribed. I unliked from Facebook. I couldn't anymore. Plus, living over here, their live show was like, hey, we're going live. You want to see the live stuff? I'm like, I'm trying to sleep, man. So I muted them on YouTube just so I wouldn't get their live notifications while I was in the middle of fucking sleeping. You know? And then, no. Have you heard of the Predators? Melvin? I haven't. I'm not sure if they're still around. But does this help? Like, they're literally furries in full football gear, and they're called the Predators, the Furry Football League. So this is a perfect thing. One, I have done a lot of weird internet research, just looking around, falling down rabbit holes, clicking links I probably shouldn't have. But how niche is that? How, like, you hear me out. Crazy idea. And I'm like, it exists. And these guys are fucking ecstatic with each other. I actually follow one of them on Twitter. Just because I do. Yeah. Because football gear is a thing. Furries are a thing. And every once in a while, you got the circles, and every once in a while, things link up. Things link up. So that's that. That's the thing. It's not, and that's part of what I was bringing up as a perfect example of the internet, because the internet started connecting niche groups of people. They started feeling less alone in the world. And whereas Gen X would box up their feelings and say, well, that's just not a thing, that doesn't really work. I think it's kind of a cool idea. Well, whatever. And they just live their lives in this almost ghost of the boomers. I've met some late 40s, and some of them do sort of act like they're ghosts of boomers. Like everything worked out right in their life, but they have really no idea what's going on, but they don't know how to find anything anymore. But with us, the older millennials, the zennials and stuff, we had the internet to find that. And we hit the right age where where the teenage years were blossoming, the 20-year-old, and our brain was realizing things. The internet was here that had the information, and now we have adult money and things like TikTok and Instagram, and we can literally instantly talk to people, and we can find people all over the world and do the strangest things and talk about things that make us so, dopamine, serotonin in our heads, because that's all it needs sometimes. Yeah, it's a weird Venn diagram, but that's the thing is like, like, you can put chips. Oh, these chips taste good. Oh, this cheese tastes good. How about you dip that chip in some cheese? Oh my God, this is better. That's exactly that. And YouTube. And I still love coming across the occasional TikToks where you just have like disheveled housewife with her glass of wine. So has anybody checked up on the kids that were running this app before we old folks came in and decided we run the show now? Has anybody checked up on them? I don't know. Takes a sip of the wine. Yeah. And
expecting strong wind again tomorrow.
But that's the thing. It's just the more you kind of sit back and you look at it, there's this definitive line. And everybody after, we'll just put it at 1980, that's a wonderful year. But after 1980 is over and above progressive. Looping back to the last part of the conversation, previous part, they're over and above progressive because in their adult formative years, not their children formative years, their adult formative years, they formed the basis of finding variety in the world. Like we didn't create the internet. We didn't create the backbones of the internet. We did not build the lines that spread everything. But the culture of the internet and all that stuff, coming out of high school, designing things, like I hate to say MySpace and Facebook because I know the evil things, but they had their place in the overall evolution of what the internet will turn into. Like I said, they're turning into weird places. TikTok will have its place and we'll move on to something else. But each little thing is getting people a little bit more into their thing. We're starting to create a much more homogenized internet where people can feel safe. You didn't have that before. And so when you get further you get people that are, and that's why now we're looking at Gen Z and been like, who are you? Because they've not grown up in the internet world of
they've grown up literally in the internet world where there is so much stuff to find. And you're like, what are you doing? What are you doing at 14 with like pink hair and you're into furries? I didn't even know what a furry was. That's right. You didn't know what a furry was. And be happy they know what a furry is. That way they don't have to live to the point where they're 28 and figure out what a furry is and realize, oh my God, what have I been missing? Yeah. And things like TikTok are, we make fun of the TikTokers that have like tens of millions of followers and have like, they follow like 6 people and put out one TikTok every 2 or 3 days. Hey, if you see this on your For You page, you should like the post and follow me. We'll be friends. You follow 6 people out of 6 million following you. You don't want friends. You want sycophants. But that's the thing, is like you've got the celebrities that are basically just not doing anything. We'll sacrifice them. Not every apple on the tree is great. We need to slough some off in order for the tree to grow better. And so, they are keeping the app functional, and it's allowing a better idea for people to foster themselves. TikTok is effectively the new Tumblr. It's really weird, but Aaron's kind of agrees with me on this one. Tumblr had its thing, and it had its long posts, it had its picture boards, it had its videos, it had its links, and you could write long stories on it. And people were like, wow, this is actually really possible. Let me move over to a WordPress, and not deal with this hellscape of an app. But that's the thing, is like the late 30s are now getting into TikTok, and we're all calling it hell apps. I'm like, oh, this goddamn hell app. But, we're finding the fact that, we feel lost and alone. There's a bunch of other people right around our age that feel lost and alone. They're doing exactly what we feel like doing. I'm 39. I'm playing football. I live in Amsterdam, and I'm learning to rollerblade for the first time in my life. And I make YouTube videos. What a part of that was in my 5-year plan? What a part of that was in my 20-year plan? Let's go back to the age of 19. No fucking clue what was going to happen to me. In fact, at 19, on this date 20 years ago, I had no idea 9/11 was going to happen. Nobody did. That was the point of it. But like, not to mention I live next to this goddamn skate park, and there'd be a crime if I didn't utilize it. What's a 20-year plan? The 20-year plan is not necessarily a plan, but it's that generalized. The 5-year plan is always, like I said, your 5-year plan should be a vector, not a path. You should know where you want to go and accept what's happening between that one. Which is all what Thursday's video was about. I know Thomas got in there and he's like throwing massive facts at me. I'm like, dude, this was a spitball idea. This was the first time I'd ever mentioned it. I'm not like going to go down to the Cologne Crocodiles right now and go to a tryout. Like, that's not going to happen, bro. I need to get film. I need to get better at linebacker. I haven't had 2 seasons in a row. And like, yeah, I kind of goofed up the thing, but like, I have one play at the Groningen game. And that's it. One game out of the entire time. And I was the starting middle linebacker. And like, I have couple pictures from that, and I have some great memories and good block stops, and yeah, I didn't get the tackle on the running back, but I definitely saw multiple times where he wanted to come through my gap, and he went, nope, not going that way. And then Dennis came over on the top of him, like, fine. It's what do you want to be when you grow up? You know, not like I'm going to live here. I am not anywhere. Like from 19 to 39, there's not. I can track the path. I have a wonderful autistic memory. I can do that. I can track the whole path and figure out what the fuck happened. But trying to describe it to anyone, you might as well just say I transcended to a new life. That's what. Yeah. What do you want to be when you grow up? You know, you ask. You know, and the whole thing. Oh, we're past 9 o'clock. I want. If you guys can't hear this very well, just. Oh, Christ. Whoa. He's got so many. Where is it?
It's Tony Robbins. How you doing?
God.
That's a crazy question to ask these
I
days.
hate Tony Robbins and his voice.
To wake up, you're going to wake up. And if you're not ready, you're going to stay pretending that you're just a little, poor little me. And since you're all here and engaged in this sort of inquiry and listening to this sort of lecture, I assume that you're all on the process of waking up. Or else you're teasing yourselves with some kind of flirtation with waking up, which you're not serious about. But I assume maybe you are, not serious but sincere, that you are ready to wake up. So then, when you're in the way of waking up and finding out who you really are, what you
Theo
do
works.
is what the whole universe is doing at the place you call here and now. You are something the whole universe is doing in the same way that a wave is something that the whole ocean is doing. The real you is not a puppet which life pushes around. The real deep down you is the whole universe. So then, when you die, you're not going to have to put up with everlasting non-existence, because that's not an experience. A lot of people are afraid that when they die, they're going to be locked up in a dark room forever. And sort of undergo that. But one of the most interesting...
Yeah, that's pretty much that. You can tell that two of you are already in the process of just having fanboy moments over a yoga instructor. Like I started playing it, Peter Borg's like, it's all in one. It's like that's literally when I read that's when I pointed at the screen because I could see him like doing that. Yeah, but that's that. Like there's that. There's also the don't work for money. And, you know, you got people in college that are like, well, we're going to go do this and do this because, you know, we really want to go do that, but we can't do money. You know, there's no money in the art or science, you know, and all that stuff. And that's what I was telling Zachary earlier. I was like, don't work for money. He has disability. It's going to suck. But he can definitely find something that he can make money out of that he likes. Maybe not his favorite thing. Maybe not the hobby. Like I make money with YouTube. But my job is football. So I make money out of my hobby, but not my job. That's weird. That's getting long now. Anyways, I have got to go. I have got to. They are very relevant today because they are not. Because they are about the human aspect. They're about living one another. And that's. It was like I said last time Peter Borg was here. I'm an atheist because I live for today, not the actual like
Was it Veni Vidi Vici? Whatever. No, that's
That's a MSR.
yeah. It's the
Seize the day.
seize the
Carpe
day.
diem.
Not carpe diem, but that back to the religious aspect, and this will be the last little speech of mine stuff, that the religious folk, least the evangelicals and the Catholics, are expecting heaven. They're doing everything for then. Everything you got, and it's a little depressing that they're doing everything now because they think it'll be better later. They are living for the future. They are not living for the now. They do not care about this life. This is a transaction. Yes. Yeah. Like I said, it's atheist because I don't ascribe to the idea of living beyond, the life beyond. Because even in his thing, what I do now might be, null and void, But what I can do is do the stuff now and send ripples out. I mean, everybody wants to have a legacy to an extent. Some people go crazy with legacy and they get the bad idea for it. But that's part of why some of my TikToks are about, gay football player and being old and still playing football, is because if I keep beating that drum, it may not be the best thing, but it'll get people to realize that you don't have to be young to play football per se. I don't want any 70-year-old out there, but there is a German team, and we can talk about that one next week. They are called the Old Stars, if you want to Google them. But that's the thing, is like, and part of my thing is I'm fighting against the gay community. I'm fighting against them. They're let the buyer beware. So what's it like being a friend with you? Caveat emptor.
Yes.
But not playing football. But that's, and if you've already done the whole play football thing, go find something of your own. The general idea is that it's not that you're old and can play football. It's the fact of literally being the visibility of old dog, new tricks. It's just that this is a ridiculously extreme example of it. But the same thing applies to the gay thing. I'm fighting the gay community because there's so much toxic gays that are like, oh my God, well, if you mention the word sports around me, I'm just going to like completely ban you out of my life. I don't need that sort of negativity. I'm like, cunt? Like, when the Outsports thing happened, their whole goal was to get gay into sports. That was that their idea of blending is getting gay into sports. I was already out for a long time. My idea was I was trying to get sports into gay because they're really against it for some ungodly reason. And yeah. And now that I'm here in Europe, several of my previous football videos are like, hey, Europeans, you can play this. It's not that it's an underground sport, but it's not as uncommon as you think. And besides, we're all kind of touch-starved right now. So if you really just feel angry about sitting in your house for a whole year and you want to throw somebody to the ground, I got a sport for you. That's the thing to them. Have they never seen gay games? No, they haven't. It's like trying to explain math to QAnon. Have they never heard of math? Well, they use math all the time. These fuckers, these gays go to the gym to exercise. The word sport in Dutch means exercise. Just letting you know. We don't call them gyms because they actually have the school called the Gymnasium. You know, in German you would call it the Gymnasium. So what are they? Our actual like pump iron gyms is called a sports school. It's a sports school. If I say that to the Dutch, they understand I mean the gym, the school, a place for learning, sport, exercise. Took me a little bit, and it took me a whole other language to realize that sport is exercise, not organized team events. They are, but the thing is they're doing sports because weightlifting is a sport. Competitive weightlifting. Yeah. I saw a TikTok. I gotta last little bit for a bit of hilarious. I'm not gonna find the TikTok. If toxic masculinity wasn't a bad thing, or the patriarchy wasn't so much of a bad thing, we'd realize real quick that all of those gym bros have massive eating disorders. But we're not ready to have that conversation yet. I will catch you guys later. It is 9:20, and I've got to meander my way down. Yes, toxic masculinity wasn't a thing. We'd quickly realize that all those gym bros have eating disorders. Putzines.